Didn't work like I wanted it to. I'm gonna attempt to put this weather stripping on. It's not even close to trying to close. This definitely seems like it's not gonna work at this point. It's rubber day. All right, guys, we got new rubber for the cab over. Just went with these Americus whatevers. They're a radial 19.5. These are kind of made for RVs specifically. They're a little bit narrower than, say, the 225/70 19.5s. And I kind of wanted that taller, skinnier look. They're the 8R 19.5 is what they are. So this is the one I wanted to go with. So I ended up ordering these on Walmart, actually. They had the best price on them. It was like $1,100 delivered to the door. So not too bad. Nice thing is I can put them on here at home. I started busting tires off. And then I got to looking at the wheels going, I need to paint these things. So what I did was I painted them white, but now I might change my mind again. I know you're shocked by that. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. And I really do like them. They look great. Other than having to clean off all of the undercoating that was oversprayed onto them, they were pretty easy to clean. So if you work for an RV manufacturer and you're the knucklehead monkey that's behind the trigger of one of those undercoating guns, kiss my grits. Yeah, that stuff's a pain in the butt to get off. All right, anyway. Once I started looking at this thing, the white wheels, I do love the white wheels, don't get me wrong, I love them. I was thinking they might be just too bright, that bright, bright white. So I think I'm gonna go with a different color. And that color is gonna be a little more of a antique white, I think. So I actually put a poll up on my YouTube page. Some of you guys saw it and kind of asking everybody what their opinion was on it. And overwhelmingly, it seemed to be everybody went with more of that creamy white, off-white, you know, that Ford. There's a couple different Ford colors that were similar to this antique white as well. So I just went down to the hardware store and got some shake and shoot and got one that's basically an antique white. I think it'll look a little better. I'll kind of tone it down just a little bit, you know, because the rest of the truck is patinaed anyway. So let's get some paint on these things and see how it turns out. All right, guys, I forgot to hit play. Well, there it is. That's the color. I already like it better. It looks so much better. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Like I said, I do love the white, but I think that's gonna tone it down just a little bit, and it's more of a classic look, I think. Looks great. Good call on that post that I left, everybody. So definitely happy I'm changing it. All right, I'm just gonna knock these out real quick, and then we can start mounting tires up. Okie doke, guys, there it is. Got a couple good coats on them. Look pretty good, I like them. I definitely like the color. Hopefully they'll be dry by tomorrow afternoon. I can throw the tires on. I gotta weld a spring hanger on that trailer for the neighbor real quick, and then I'll go ahead and pop these rear ones off and get these tires busted off next. Whew, all right, guys, I started the time lapse changing all them tires around, then I got sidetracked. So I've got two mounted up, but I can't get the beads to seat with the air compressor. And I tried to put a ratchet strap around the tire. They're too stiff. They won't expand enough. So that didn't work. So I need one of those tanks. So I'm just gonna let these things sit for now. I was trying not to get impatient and mounting these things up right now. I mean, they feel pretty good to the touch, but so I'm gonna do the right thing and be patient and not mount the other tires on those wheels, because I don't want to screw up the paint on the beads. So I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm just gonna walk away from it. I got the door weather stripping, not insulation, but weather stripping. I think I'm gonna work on that and start putting that stuff on the door. All right, guys, I'm gonna attempt to put this door weather stripping on here. Now, I don't know if I like it, to be honest. It doesn't look as good as, say, the Precision stuff. I don't know. I got it. I'm just gonna give it a shot. And of course, this is a glue-on. So I'm gonna try to do this without making a giant mess and screwing it all up. I was watching a video by Jerry at, what is it, Dr. J's Restoration, I believe it is. And I think he either owns or is affiliated with the website, the filling station as well. And he had a really good video on how to do this that looked like it was a pretty straightforward, simple deal without making a giant mess out of everything. So let's give it a shot and see what we can do. And then what I did on most of the door here, I just put a piece of tape up. I'm just going to kind of work it into this corner, if you will. And then I just took the tape all the way around the edge of the door. That'll just make it cleaner and keep you from getting it all over the rest of the door. Of course, on his video, he makes it look so easy, you know. You can tell he's done it a few hundred times, probably. And this is the first time that I've ever had to do this. Should have put a glove on, I guess. This flat side, you want the glue on this side, and then there's a short side and a long side. This is the long side, and this is the short side. You want the glue on the short side, too. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the seal, drag it down. And what you can do as you do this, you just loop it around this bar as you go. Okay, I'm gonna go clean my hands and I'll be back. All right, I'm gonna pull the tape off. Okay. Make sure I'm putting it on the right way. I'm gonna start down here in the middle. Now this corner is a weird transition, and he does talk about that. It's definitely sticking. I mean, it's definitely stuck on there really good. It feels pretty good. So I think we're okay. Over here next to the hinge, it's really narrow, so, but it feels okay. I mean, it's definitely stuck. If I pull on it, it's in there. That wasn't too bad, I guess. I'll put gloves on next time. Definitely a little messy. I hope this seal works out all right. I don't know. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, honestly. We're gonna do our best to seal this cab up. I know these things weren't great from the factory. I was trying to do this and not do the windlace seal on the cab on the inside, because it is a little weird when you put that seal on with these trucks especially. You're always dragging your feet across here when you're getting in and out of the truck. The rest of the windlace all the way up and around will be fine, but it's just this I was worried about. So I was actually gonna see how this was without the windlace before I commit to buying it, and then we'll go from there. Ugh. Hopefully this will be the last time. I need to see it from the inside. I am getting tired of lifting them. That's for sure. There she goes. Now I put these springs, these are supposed to hold the door open. There's two of them. So the bracket on that thing is the slot that this rides in, that the little tab rides in. It's just so rotted out. It was binding the thing up real bad, and it bent it and tweaked it. And so I've only got one in there, so we'll see how it holds the door. All right, we got a little issue. The door looks like it's lining back up again just fine. The problem is the weather stripping. The front side of the door is okay, but back here, it is like, it's not even close to trying to close. I mean, I'm pushing on it as hard as I can, and that's as close as I can get it. So either this stuff is just absolutely completely wrong, or I don't know. I mean, I know I put it on the right way, and that's according to all the instructions and everything I saw. They're very specific as far as how, you know, it lays on the door, because it's supposed to flare out as it hits the body, but this thing doesn't even want to compress enough to even do that. So the belt line lines up just fine. I mean, everything looks fine. All my clearances are good, but the weather stripping, and I can really feel the weather stripping. Like right there, I can start to feel it hitting the front part of the cowl. So this stuff is either, like I said, just completely wrong, or I don't know. Well, shoot. That's a problem. But I mean, this is the way they say to put it on. This is the longer end of the seal, and you're supposed to put it to the outside, because this is supposed to flare open as you close the door. So as it closes onto here, that longer end is supposed to kind of seat in here. It's supposed to kind of split this seam right here. And then up here, I can feel it hitting and pushing in, but it's staying flat though. It's not, this is definitely not flaring out. All right, I'm just gonna mess with this for a little bit. Maybe I gotta go down another route. Maybe I need to use that other peel and stick stuff. I don't know. But this definitely seems like it's not gonna work at this point. God, a waste of money too. I think it was like 35 bucks for the pair, so yeah, whatever, not that bad. It's not going to work for sure on the latch side. It's way too thick. All right, guys, definitely not proud of this. All right, I just took a knife and I cut off part of the edge there. You can see I just cut a whole bunch of it off. That leading edge of it anyway, of the rubber all the way around. So right here you can see where I cut it. And it did help. So, I mean, I've got it. It's still way off the body, though, for where it needs to be to latch properly. But it did help it up there much better, and up at the top. So, yeah, I'm going to tear it out. I'm going to tear it out and redo it. Pull the door off, pull all the rubber off of it, and order the other stuff, you know. So... All right, guys, I got the door working at least, so the latch is all good to go. Everything feels really good with that thing. I had to trim the weather stripping just a little bit more at the top just to get it to sit right. But otherwise, other than that problem with the weather stripping, I mean, we're good to go. The door feels great and it's working. And I mean, it looks like it's hitting it. You know what I'll do is this evening when it's dark, I'll come out here with a light and I'll put a light on the inside. And I'll try to go all the way around the door and really see how much leakage there really is, because it's really hard to tell when the door is closed. It's hard to see it. All right, so thank you to my buddy Jeff and Jeff for letting me borrow this bead sealer tank. So I'm going to give that a shot real quick. I was going to use like brake parts cleaner, ether or something, but I don't know. I'd rather use this anyway. All right, let's give this thing a shot. Oh yeah, that works good. That was only 100 PSI too. This new design tank is pretty cool because now you just push a button, you load it up, you push the button instead of the valve. This thing works really well, that's awesome. It's gonna get scratched up. I have to get over that. Get up there. Get on there. I guess I did that backwards. Oh well. Come on. Okay, last one, guys. I got this thing jacked up way too high. All right. I spared you the horror show of me doing the rest of them. Oh man, I'm way out of practice. I've done semi-tires in the past, but yeah, I was all out of practice with these things. All right, 2 lug nuts is good enough for a test drive. I got my centromatic balancing rings in there as well, so that's good to go. So I'm doing something a little different with the lug nuts too. I'll show you that here in a second. Coming down. All right, so this truck came with these rings here, and then they used just a conical lug nut, these right here. But since these are a hub pilot wheel, what I did was I ordered flange style lug nuts for this thing, like modern stuff anyway, and then I'm just not gonna run these plates. I don't need them. So I ordered 30 of those dang things. It's like 150 bucks. Of course, they're big too. They're, what are they, 9/16 18, I think. Or no, 5/8 18. Yeah, they're big ones. Okay, it feels weird with the door on it now. All right, let's go test some tires. Let's hope it doesn't rattle our teeth out. Definitely better. Oh yeah. There still is like a little shake to it, but these front springs are so stiff right now too that there's not much suspension to it. Oh, this thing's cool. It's so cool. That's 40. I gotta remember there's duals on this thing now, so it's a lot wider in the back. Brakes are... I really need to turn them rotors. Oh, the fan just turned on, just now. No check engine light, temperature's perfect. It's probably 180 degrees. Well, let's see. That fan's set at 200. It's 200 on, 180 off, 185 off. So I think it needs an alternator too. Running nice and smooth in gear. The more I let it run, the better it slowly starts to get. So, all right, I'm just letting it run here for a little bit. Fans are on, it's running nice and cool. I did get my lug nuts, well, part of the order anyway. So those are the lug nuts I ended up getting, a flange style. Looks way better than those other rings and everything on there. All right, I'm just waiting for the rest of them. They say Wednesday I'll get the rest of them. I guess I'm just gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with this insulation. I think I'm gonna go ahead and order the other stuff from the filling station, get that stuff coming right away. It'll probably take a week to get down here, I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately, that's all I got for this video. So if anything changes, I'll, let you know for sure. Hold up, wait a minute. I got updates. All right, got online, did some research. Apparently, there's 2 different door seals for these trucks. There's a thin one and then a thicker one. I had no idea. The research that I did and the seals that I found, nobody mentioned anything about having 2 different thicknesses. So I was on the filling station's website, looking at what they have on there, and then sure enough, they listed 2 different ones. I think one is 1/2 inch thick and one is 11/16, I believe it is. So that kind of makes sense. In the description, it says that they have found over the years, with these trucks, there was a couple different variations of weather seals. So it definitely seems as though I have the thinner one. So I got on their website and I just ordered a whole bunch of stuff for this thing. I ordered all the rubber for it, all the door felts and the tracks and everything, basically. So I'm waiting for all that stuff to get here. So I'm gonna take this door back off again and strip all of the rubber off of it, as well as the glue, which is not gonna be any fun. So the passenger side, I already put the seal and everything on, but I ripped it off and then I started the process of removing the glue on here. So this is gonna be absolutely terrible, and I'm gonna try to do it to where it doesn't destroy the paint. I just went down to Ace Hardware and picked up a couple adhesive removers. They don't work that well. There is a 3M product that's made for just specifically for this. I'm just gonna go ahead and order that instead. So once I get my box of goodies and everything, we'll go ahead and do the doors. But for now, let's move on to something else. All right, I realized the other day when I was driving this thing around a little bit, I need to get the transmission cooler put in this thing. I didn't run it around hard enough to hurt anything, of course, but we need to get this done. And since everybody really seemed to like the color of the wheels, a lot of people left comments about needing to paint the grille and the front bumper that color as well. Well, I 100% agree. So that's what I'm gonna do as well. While I got the grill off, I'm gonna scuff the grill down real quick, and let's go ahead and get a coat of that paint on that grill, and I think that'll really help tie everything together. And a few people asked about the hood, and yes, I am painting the hood. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I need to pull the hood back off, and I need to weld up some holes up on the cowling where I drilled some extra holes by accident that I didn't need to drill, and then I need to make gaskets for that hood hinge on the cowl side below the windshield. Honestly, I'd like to wait for it to cool down just a tiny bit. We've got some cooler weather supposedly moving in next week, so I'll probably tackle that then. But I just need to get this thing in here and get it mounted up. The AC condenser is going to go right in here, so I just want to be just forward of that. It's going to be tight. I wish I had the AC condenser, but I have the mounts and everything in there, so I know exactly where it's going to sit. All right, guys, now I'm sitting here having an argument with myself. Well, not an argument, but just a conversation. A nice civil conversation. I'm rethinking putting it up here in the front. There's not a lot of room up here. So now I'm thinking about putting it in the back with a fan and putting a sending unit in the oil pan. Really making things complicated. Oh, let me show you what I got. So if I put that thing in here, well, there's 2 issues. So this thing, basically, this straight edge here kind of represents the front edge of the core support, or the AC condenser, so it's real tight in here. So the cooler would want to sit right here where this grill curves right here. I could cut these back a lot more if I want to, but I kind of don't want to. The other problem is if I put the cooler right here directly in the middle, well, there's no holes in this front piece, and that's kind of blocking, almost 50, well, a little more than 50% of the airflow through the cooler. However, with the radiator fans in here pulling air through, I think it would be okay, but I would much rather have the clean airflow in the front going through the cooler. So that's kind of making me rethink where I want to put it. I looked down underneath the bumper and stuff, but it's going to be a little more exposed down there. So with this cooler laid in here, because this is where it wants to be, it's right in that curve, but you can see how much airflow I'm losing, because it basically needs to be almost right up against the grill as well. So that brings me to the back area here. Now don't forget the flatbed is going to be really high. The top of the flatbed is going to be way up here. So we're talking over 12 inches off the frame. So I've got room to put it in here. So I was looking at even just like setting it in here at kind of like an angle like that. A little bit, nice short lines right to the transmission, that would be okay. But I would get a lot of rising heat off of the exhaust onto it. As long as you're moving, I think it would be fine. Then I was looking at maybe putting it back here a little bit, kind of angling it like that. That would be tucked up high enough out of the way. I think it would be okay. So right now, kind of leaning towards that method. I mean, you know, yeah, if I threw a drive shaft, is it going to rip it out? Sure, probably. You know, how often does that really happen, honestly? It's not something I'd really worry about too much. What I could do is they make really nice little 7-inch fans, because that cooler is 7-inch. It's like 7 by 10 or something. Put the fan on it, run a sending unit onto the transmission pan, and then actually the original cooling fan wiring and the relay and everything that's already built into the truck, I could utilize that. And I wouldn't need to run any other relays or power or anything. It'd be super simple to hook up that way. Yeah, I really don't want to cut this back more, because then you would see that cooler right here, you know, and it would be right up against the face of the grill right here. And I really don't want that. Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is such a huge truck, but the packaging on these cab overs and stuff in and around the front end and underneath is really tight on these things. There's really not a lot of room. You don't have that big long nose like a pickup truck, you know. Black hole in there, can't see nothing. All right, I think I got everything. All right, guys, of course this thing is hot. It's gonna be like powder coat. I did scuff it down with Scotch-Brite, so it's cleaned up a little bit. Oh, so I did decide to put some paint on the grill now, and then I'll go mess with the cooler, and then that way this can cure out. So in case you're wondering what's going on. Oops. I got a couple runs in it, but it's hot right now. It's well over 110, so, and it's really humid too. I mean, you can see where this thing is really rusted, you know, so it's not going to be perfect, of course. Nothing on this thing is perfect. But yeah, I got a couple of runs here and there, so. No biggie, couple little ones here and there. I mean, it looks pretty good for hammered dog poop. I'd say that table is a little hot. Woo, doggy. A little warm. All right, here's what I came up with. So I just made a quick bracket that this thing will sit inside of. Man, I think my brain is just cooked today. I'm overthinking this thing too much, and it's taken me way too long to get through this. But so I just got the main frame of it done, so it'll hold everything nice and tight. I ended up just putting time certs in the cooler itself, and then just ran some bolts in there on both ends. Not time certs, nut certs. So I got those put in place. I figured that was the easiest thing to do, rather than try to get in there with a nut and a nut and everything. Something like that. I don't think it's gonna hang too low right there. No. Exhaust is lower, everything else is lower, transmission's lower. All right, let's Let's see, I got a piece of angle iron. I think if I put this on here, yeah, that's perfect. Perfect length too. I'll put that on there like that. I can bolt that right to the frame just like that. Perfect. That'll work. Okay, guys, this thing's still a little hot, but oof. Got the angle iron welded on there. It's actually pretty darn strong, but for safety's sake, I'll put a brace on this thing just to support the bottom. Maybe not the most ideal place for it or situation, but I'm good with it. I think it'll be just fine. Just like that. All right, that'll work. It's good enough. That just gives it a little extra support there. All right, that'll do it. Looks pretty good. Other than making a couple lines and then putting the front end back together again, that's gonna do it. That thing's just been sitting out here baking in the sun. I'm just gonna let it sit for a day or so, let it really cure up really well before I start putting my grubby mitts all over it. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Sorry, not a super great video this week, but hey, more forward progress, you know, those are a couple big things off the list. And I did get my box right here from the filling station. So next week we'll go ahead and crack that thing open, and then we can get going on rebuilding these doors. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support as always. Appreciate the likes and comments. Don't forget to subscribe, please, if you don't mind. So get out there, go work on your stuff, one step at a time, guys. All right, see you on the next one. Have a great day.